How do you and your staff expect to replace two-time first-team All-Presidents Athletic Conference quarterback Aaron Smetanka, despite only having 4 total pass attempts returning from the 2011 season?
That's a great question. We have a couple of, well, it's a wide open competition at the quarterback spot. We've worked out 4 guys here in the spring, and we just have to work it out through the camp. And we'll put them in competitive situations. We'll have a couple of guys work with the first team as often as we can, and just see who can move the team down the field. It's going to be that simple, really.
Huey Eric returns as one of the leading rushers in the President's Athletic Conference a season ago. What kind of depth do you see behind him in your offensive backfield?
Another great question. We're going to play Huey more. He alternated last year with Mike Kale, so he's the clear-cut starter this year, but we still alternate. Our philosophy is to try to alternate as many people into the game as we possibly can. I think it's a good Division III philosophy. So again, we'll have some young. We're really counting on some younger players who may not have been with the team last year to back up Huey and provide us with some depth there. But Huey's one of the better backs in the league, and he'll play more often. But I really can't tell you who will be his backup today. It's going to be open competition again, just like the quarterback spot.
Coach, you lost 2 of your program's top tacklers from the league, including your program's all-time leading tackler, Anthony Johnson. Who are you looking for? Who are some faces we should look for to replace those tackles in your defense?
I lost a lot of players, didn't I? we lost 30 seniors, so we took quite a big hit with that senior class. Javon Johnson has played a lot as a backup, and we're expecting him to fill in one of the inside gaps that we lost with Anthony Johnson and Armando Fortunato. And again, it's going to be up to some players who don't have a lot of experience or younger players who we've recruited now to step in and fill that gap. That's a lot of tackles we lost in Armando and Anthony and David Ribeiro, who's not with us this year. So that's a key find that we have to discover in the preseason camp.
Coach, we're going to switch over to Ricky for a couple questions. Ricky, St. Vincent is going to be breaking in a new quarterback in 2012. How long do you think it's going to take you and the other receivers to develop the type of chemistry you had with Aaron over the past couple years?
I mean, replacing a two-time first-team all-conference quarterback isn't going to be easy, but I mean, we've got 4 solid guys who are coming in who look to hopefully take over the reins. Hopefully one of them will be able to rise above by the end of camp, and we'll have a true starter by week 1. But my roommate, one of the quarterbacks, Manny Spiel, we've been working out for the past 4 years now, and we've really built up a lot of chemistry together. So hopefully that'll benefit us. But as far as the other guys go, I mean, it's going to be through camp, like Coach said, and hopefully we'll find a solid starter by week 1.
I know you guys aren't really excited about talking about individual stuff, but I want to ask you, you're close to becoming the modern-day record holder for a number of receiving records at St. Vincent College. What does something like achieving those numbers mean to you personally?
Personally, I mean, records, they stay with you forever. That's something I'd love to achieve. But ultimately, it wouldn't matter if I had one catch all season if my team goes on to win every game and we get that championship ring, because ultimately we're all here playing and competing for a championship. So, I mean, yeah, the records would be great, but as long as they come with victories.
Ricky, what do you view as the strengths of your team heading into 2012?
Losing 30-some seniors, that loses a lot of seniority, but I know that the team, we've really bought into what Coach has been selling, and a lot of team camaraderie. I mean, I feel like me and the guys, everyone gets along really well, and it's a team where, I mean, the teams that win championships are the teams, not just individual players out there winning games. And I feel like we've really built up a tight-knit group of players and tough guys, so really team camaraderie and the way we all get along and work together and play for each other rather than play for ourselves individually.
Ricky, one last question for you. What type of advice do you have for some of the younger guys that are coming into their first collegiate camp? I mean, something somebody might have handed down to you over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest transition you make in your life at that point, going from high school where you're in such a confined environment to getting out of your comfort zone and going to college. And say one of the more important things, aside from football, is academics. I've seen far too many of my good friends and players and great athletes gone within a year because they can't keep their grades up. So I honestly say hit the books hard. And listen to these older guys and coaches. They really know what they're talking about. They know what they're saying. I mean, you don't want to just stay closed-minded and leave what you learned in high school. They got a lot to tell you and a lot to learn if you listen.
Thanks, Ricky. Coach, we'll move back to you for a couple more questions. Are there any players, upper-class players, let's say, are there any upperclassmen players that you feel are pretty primed to have breakout seasons for you? Maybe somebody that saw limited playing time that you've seen over the past year or so that they're ready to step up for your program.
Well, I already mentioned Jovan Johnson on the defensive side. We're expecting him to fill some of the vacancy we have with the linebackers missing. And on defense, too, we had a couple of outstanding defensive backs. Darius Brown was a freshman, came up with 5 interceptions last year, and Danny Borkowski also played in the secondary last year. And basically, they would have been our best offensive receivers at some point, along with Ricky, and we moved them to defense. I'm expecting them to have a good year. And Darius McGee, one of our offensive tackles, was an all-conference player last year, first team. And I'm expecting Darius to continue to develop as a really a dominant offensive lineman.
Coach, your last question. I know we talked quite a bit, or you talked quite a bit, about the players that you've lost, the tackles that you've lost. On the other side, if there was a position, offensively or defensively, that you had to look at right now and say that you're thinking we're going to be better at this position than we were last year, what might that position be?
I think 2 areas will be better at the wide receiver spot. Ricky brings a lot of experience there, and we have some more depth there. And I think, again, at the tailback spot, because Eric will play more snaps this year, that he won't alternate as much as he did last year. So I think that those are the 2 primary positions that I see we could have really good players at.